Good morning, Heather. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. This is always so fun for us.
I know I love Mondays with Michelle. It's so fun to interact and get to connect and go up and see what Spirit World has to say to help guide us.
Yeah, it really is. And it's so fun. I get all the notifications when all these questions come in and I get so excited to read through them and see all the fun stuff that you guys have for Michelle to answer and a lot of things that are going on in your lives and a lot of things that we're all dealing with across the board. So we're going to start off with this question today because I know this is something that's on a lot of people's minds right now, and we're all feeling the effects of it in different ways. We all have our opinions of it. So this person wrote in, when will all this political drama end? And how will we move into a more peaceful time in the US?
Yeah, I
It's
love
on
that.
a lot of our minds.
Yeah, I think everybody wonders that at least once a day right now. It's a great question. So I'm not going to buy into the Republican or Democrat side of this. What I'm going to tell you is that we need to look at this from a spiritual perspective. So there are a couple of things going on right now. Just like within life, we go through growing pains. There's some growing pains happening. I think everyone can agree to that. Some people might even say that doesn't cover it. I agree. But our souls came here to planet Earth, right? To experience the contrast. And so, what I want to say is that we are here to experience the hard times, the good times, the times where we're like, what's going on? This is kind of chaotic. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing, and I just had this conversation with my friend the other night, we do not want division between ourselves. So I know that there are family and friends that have chosen to not hang out anymore because, they side more with one party or another. That is exactly what the political landscape is wanting for us, because when they divide, the first tactic of war, divide and then conquer, right? When they are dividing you from your friends, your family, your neighbors, your community over political beliefs, the politics are winning and the American people are losing. So, how do we overcome this? We get back to the fact that we are one group of people. We are all Americans. We are all souls having a human experience. And so, we really have to raise it up to that higher level. It doesn't mean that we think this is okay and that's okay or wrong or right, but it's about being one with a voice and really starting to go back to conversations. My grandparents were able to have political discussions, even if they saw things completely different. And it was literally like, okay, well, I respect your opinion. It didn't mean we had to buy into it, right? And I think that's what we're looking for right now on planet Earth. Our humanity is being attacked in multiple ways. It is being attacked by politics. It's being attacked by the food we eat. It's being attacked by what is put into our minds, what we're watching, what we're reading. And so, what I'm really going to encourage you guys to do is to look around and start being the light in your life first. Because once you do that, you're able to expand it to others and realize that, yes, while we are souls here having a human experience for the contrast, we also came at this challenging time because there's work to be done, and we are here to help bring that forward.
I love that, Michelle. And I can just speak from some personal experience, the stuff going on in politics right now, affects me and my husband a lot. And sometimes I get so caught up in it and it's so stressful and I'm so worried. And sometimes I just have to turn the TV off and just take a minute to step away and kind of refocus and not hear all the background noise, because a lot of it is noise. It is good to be informed. I get
Mhm.
that also. And sometimes it gets to be a lot. And so I'll just take a moment or take a couple days and I won't watch the news. I'll turn the TV off and just kind of quiet things. And I realize, okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. And choose to focus on the good things that are going on. And then when
Mhm.
I'm ready, I can turn the news back on and be informed. But
Yeah.
sometimes try not to get so wrapped up in it.
Well, absolutely. It's like thinking about feeding our bodies. What are we feeding our mind, right? You can have some chocolate here and there, but you probably shouldn't eat the whole box or bag of it, right? So it's okay to be aware and have pieces that come in. It's okay to understand, to have opinions about it. All of that, none of that's wrong. But yeah, filter what you're feeding your mind.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. All right.
Mhm.
Our next question. On April 17th each year for 47 years, something extraordinary happens to me. This year at midnight, I am looking into the darkness through my patio door. Then I see a baseball-sized green light float slowly past my door, approximately 30 feet from me. Not sure, no, not more than 15 feet from the ground. What is this? And I just got the chills reading that question. That's
I
so
know.
cool. I love extraordinary things.
Yeah, exactly. That's so fun, right? What I want to say to you, there's a couple of things that I feel going on here. So it's really about, and this, your guides are bringing this information in. You have now set the intention. Okay, let's look. We got to rewind a little bit and look at this. You have set the intention that every year on April 17th, something extraordinary is going to happen to you. Your power of intention is absolutely manifesting this. So whether it's this beautiful green orb that you saw, I mean, I want to connect it with the way they're saying it's like a visual of an angel type energy like that. And I think you probably feel that in the presence because it doesn't feel spooky or weird. It feels calming. It feels love. It feels quite beautiful to me. So I'm going to connect it with that. But I want you to realize this is how strong your power of intention is, and be aware what else you want to manifest in your life, because you certainly have a gift here. And I love that this happens for you every year.
I love that. Thanks, Michelle.
Mhm.
All right, our next question. When you give a reading, how do you perceive the other soul on the other side? Do you see them as a physical person or is it just a knowing? I love that question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me start by saying all mediums work differently. Some mediums can actually see your other ones and they can say, okay, grandma's 5'7", she has brown hair, on and on and on. I am not a medium who sees. So it's going to be different depending on the medium. My information comes through feelings. So I'm going to tell you, feels like grandma was 5'7". I feel longer hair. She's making me notice she had some work done on her bottom jaw, like dental work, right? That's actually probably what happened for this person who sent in the question. But here's what I will tell you. With that being said, it depends on the medium and how they get the information. And so if I do see things, it is coming through what I would say more of my third eye. It's a visual, but everybody works differently. So my information comes through as feelings. When I am doing my readings, I smell, I feel, I can hear words sometimes. But usually it is all a telepathic energetic communication. However, I will tell you, I am always in awe of how accurate it is. This is how we communicate in heaven too. We're not all up there speaking English or French or German or Spanish or anything like that. It's an energetic communication. Now, what I will say, because I want to go into this a little bit more, when your loved one in spirit comes in, they are going to give me energetic ideas of who they were, right? So if I have a what feels like a male presence coming in above me, I know it's going to be dad or grandpa or great uncle, whoever, right? The spirit, the soul, which is pure energy consciousness, is going to give me the ideas of how you would relate to them in this life. Because as a medium, if I was just like, I just have a ball of light in my room and it just wants to talk to you and send you love, everybody would be like, what are you talking about? So spirit world is going to give us personality traits and characteristics so we understand who they are. It doesn't mean they're still in that form on the other side.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question. What health issues is my dog Bosley struggling with? And we've had quite a few pet questions come in, and I always find it so interesting because Michelle and I are both big animal lovers and have our dogs and love them so much. So I always find these questions really fascinating and can relate a lot to them.
Yeah. So when I go to Bosley, I'm getting like GI, and I'm filling up in stomach, pancreas, liver area. So I want to go up there. I'm actually feeling queasy right now, so I think there's some queasiness going on. I would definitely suggest some imaging, whether there's an X-ray or something that can be done right in that area. Also, my right hip, but I want to say I almost said my back right hip because I was feeling the dog's body. My right hip is hurting, but it would be the dog's back right hip.
Okay.
So,
And interesting with the GI things, my dogs were having some health issues and they just weren't feeling right. And so I took a look into what they were eating, and I actually started making dog food, homemade, all by myself at home, and could not believe the difference in their energy level, their coats, the more active they were. And so taking a look too is to what your dog is consuming. We think, we do that for ourselves as humans, but sometimes we're like, oh, just give the dogs their dog food. But it might not be the best thing for them as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, next question. I would love to know if Misty is thinking of me and if I should pursue the relationship and should I move to Charlotte?
Oh, okay. So here's what I will say. Um, I do think Misty is thinking of you. It does not feel like it's quite as much as you would like. So you're going to have to, I'm getting the word engage more. So whether that is more text or phone calls or whatever that is, engage. The move to Charlotte feels what the guides are showing me 75% likely, but it comes after June, is what I'm being told to say.
Right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. I've seen videos online where animals, people, and even highway traffic seem to literally pause in place for a moment or two. What's going on in these instances? It's a
Yeah.
fascinating.
It's a great question, but it happens. And I've actually had it happen in my life one time. So here's what I will tell you: the universe, your angels, your life guides, whoever the higher beings are that are supporting you, there are very often moments where they can, not around the whole world. I'm sure they actually probably could around the whole world if they wanted, but they can actually slow down time in specific situations. So there was this one time where I was driving down the road. It was a 3 lanes on each side, island in the middle. And this car spun out of control and was coming right at me. I knew for sure it was going to hit me. There was nothing I could do. And literally, time was shifted and it went flying across 6 lanes of traffic, hit no one. And I could see this, like it was like a slowing down of time. I don't know how to explain it. And I ended up in a parking lot and the person was fine. So what happens is they create almost like this vortex in that area. Now, usually when we see this is because they're doing it. Somebody's going to get hit by a car accident situation, something like that. But they can create it in certain areas in a vortex. It doesn't seem to last long, maybe just a couple seconds. I have no idea how they do it, but I can't wait to figure that out.
Interesting. So that always gets me thinking, Michelle. So, you had that experience where essentially your life could have been saved. Who knows how bad that car
Mhm.
accident would have been. How come that happens sometimes, but then there's all these other tragic things that happen around us? Why were those things not changed or prevented?
Right. Well, we don't know everyone's soul plan. So we have about 8 billion people here on planet Earth. And that means we have 8 billion soul plans happening right here in one big classroom. And I do believe that we have some free will here. I have a course online about soul plans. And what I will tell you with that is about 60 to 70% of our life is in the blueprint. And then we have 30 to 40% free will, depending on the soul. And with that being said, whatever happened in that situation, maybe it was a free will situation for the driver. Maybe they were a drunk driver. I have no idea, right? But whatever happened, it was not my moment to check out, or it was not an exit point for me. So there was an intervention.
Great. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
Next question. After a traumatic event and losing everything, I began to rebuild my life from the ground up. I'm truly grateful for the new work opportunities now unfolding. I gently ask my guides for clarity. Which of my current options is most aligned with my soul's purpose? I still feel foggy and overwhelmed when making decisions and would deeply appreciate your support in finding the right path.
So right now, because I'm feeling that there are 3 strong options. So to the person who sent this question in, please visualize option A, and then option B, and then option C. And I'm getting a very strong pull to whatever it was that you visualized as option B. When we are coming out of these challenging, hard times in our life, there is a fog that we move through on the other side, right? It's like a storm. It doesn't usually just stop, it lets up, it eases slowly. And so that fog that you're moving through, I'm being told to tell you, you're going to have a lot of clarity by the end of May. So within the next 6 weeks. But I do feel like you have 2 solid options. One of them you're going to say, that doesn't feel right. But what you labeled as B feels the strongest to me.
Thanks, Michelle. And sometimes too, I feel like we have to make a decision and start down that path. And then if it doesn't feel right, it's okay for us to retract and
Mm-hmm.
back. But sometimes I feel like I'll make a decision and I'm like, well, I made this decision. I got to go with it. But maybe part of the process is making it, recognizing it's not right, and then backing out or going another way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Our next question. I love this one. This one, we haven't had one like this yet. And I really like this question. It is, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Bible's teaching. Also believe strongly in spirit, source, consciousness, spirit guides, etc. How do the two fit together? Is there only one way to heaven as the Bible teaches? I now question the validity of the Bible and how does these fit together?
Yeah. Wow. Well, that is a great question. So thank you for asking that. I was raised Catholic, and I always grew up believing in angels and Jesus and saints and all of those things. In my second near death experience is actually where Jesus came into me, and much to my surprise, Jesus came in as one of my best friends. Like, hey, I'm here to help you. Let me help you. I love you. Not as somebody that I needed to pray to or confess to or ask for forgiveness from, right? So here is the way that it all works. When we look at spirit world, I mean, let me just say, there, God source the divine is not a religion. God source the divine is not Buddhist or Catholic or Baptist or LDS or on and on and on with all of the choices that we have in this world. So think about this as a bicycle tire, and in the source is the hub. This is God's source, the divine. We have many different paths that we can take to get to the divine. None of them are wrong or right, as long as they're truly based on love. You're not hurting people. You're following your connection to source. Religions are tools that we have chosen as humans to remind us that there's something bigger than us. But at some point, we will probably and can, and it sounds like this person who sent in the question has outgrown it, and you're ready to connect to more, and that is perfect for you on this path. So I would just say they all work together. Jesus was not Christian. Jesus was Jewish, right? And and I also think that a lot of the information isn't complete around that whole story. And with that being said, it's okay. Heather knows this. Heather herself had this personal challenge with leaving a religion to honor what she was feeling. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I had a big faith crisis and really had to take a step back and question everything that I was taught. And a big thing for me was what feels true to me and not worrying about what my parents thought or my siblings or my friends or all the family or whoever it was. And I had differing views all around me. But when I started to really question things, I had to sit with myself and what feels true to me. And that's what I have allowed to guide me. I
Mhm.
have left the church that I was raised, and I have a lot of love for it. And because it got me to where I'm at
Yeah.
today, and now I know more of what I do want, um, and what I do believe in. And I'm also open to that changing. It's what I believe today, but something could present itself tomorrow that might completely change how I feel about um, religion or God
Mhm.
or all the different things like that. So just being really open and focusing on yourself and not worrying about what anyone else believes or their viewpoints on it. And that for me has been so freeing and has allowed for just a lot of love in all of it
Yeah,
and
I
compassion for
agree.
what people believe in.
Absolutely. And I will say for myself, after my three near death experiences, I don't go to any type of church service because I have no doubt that I am so divinely connected to source, just like we all are. It's just that I have been reminded very vividly of this. So I would just say that you are and cannot be disconnected from source. So when Heather is saying, like, follow about what feels right to you, 100%. It's going to look different for every person. But all of these beautiful roads lead to source. They're just different ways to get there. And think about the life plans again at play here. Someone wants to come in and have this Baptist experience or have this Buddhist experience. And so that is one of the ideas that we get to play with when we're coming to planet Earth.
Absolutely. And a big thing for me, and it was that I'm always worthy. We're
Mhm.
always worthy to have that connection. We're always worthy to, however we see it, um, God, divine, all of that. We are always worthy to have that with us, no matter what. And we are the ones that can keep that connection alive, and no one can take that from us.
Absolutely. All right. Great question.
Yes, thank you for that question. All right, next question. I'm on the right track. Oh, am I on the right track with my new hypnotherapy business I am setting up? Is this what I'm supposed to do next?
Okay. So my answer is yes, because that's what your guides are saying. But what we're missing here is the energetic confidence to back it up. So if you're saying, okay, this business is getting set up and it's not coming through fast enough, I don't have the waiting list that I want, or whatever this is that you're looking for, it's because we need to focus on your energy. So whenever we are running a business or we are a small business owner, our energy is the engine for the business, just like the energy of a car comes from the motor, right? Or it starts to, that's what's pushing it forward. You're the motor for this business. So yes, I feel like this is the right thing for you, but I need you to really do a little bit of energetic checking, because once you are in alignment with what it is that you want to do, then the energy and the movement and the business start to flow and grow.
Thanks, Michelle.
Mhm.
All right, our next question. What signs is my mom sending me that I am missing, or does my mom, Mary, have a message for me?
Yeah. So here's what your mom is showing me right now. She's telling me that she is, and very often our loved ones do this. So it's not just your mom, but a lot of people. She's in telepathic communication with you, and I'm not sure that you're picking up on that enough. Sometimes we get so busy looking for the feather or what, whatever it is that we're looking for, that we actually forget that we are quantumly connected to our loved ones in spirit and in this telepathic communication with them regularly, right? So I want you, because this is what she's saying, to be more aware of those thoughts that she drops in, the little giggles, the I love yous, the all of this energy, because I feel her very much walking at your side. But I think that you have a strong quantum telepathic connection with her that you are either second guessing yourself on or overlooking right now.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question. And there tends to be a theme today, and a lot of people questioning big decisions in their lives. And this is this question as well. Thank you for providing everyone with your guidance and positivity. I would like to know if my partner and I are on the right track with a side business we started not too long ago. So a lot of business questions coming up lately.
Yeah, there are always themes, it feels like. Here's what I will say. It feels like you are on the right track. Now, they're giving me the word September. So I think by September, things start moving forward for you, or maybe being more financially productive. But I am seeing a bridge. So I do want you to think about bridging the gap. It doesn't feel like this is going to take off overnight, but I feel a steady pace of it improving.
Great. Thanks, Michelle.
Mhm.
Next question. If our angels gave us guidance, let's say a year ago, and the event they gave guidance on hasn't happened yet, does that mean the event won't happen? It will be a truly a miracle for this event to happen. Just curious if there is a timeline on readings per se. I love this question.
I know those are the fun ones, right? Yeah. Okay. So here's what I will tell you. That's, yeah, a great question. We are at an interesting point in the universe where there are moments where timelines are almost like converging, collapsing, speeding up, slowing down. And so when you are connecting with your angels, what I would tell you, if they have given you this message, I'm getting the number 95% probability of it still happening. So just be aware that it feels like it's going to happen, even if it didn't happen right on the time that you want. Things in this world are shifting and changing, and that includes some timelines and some things that are happening in our life. Even if we look at COVID shifted timelines for people. Things that were supposed to happen before or happen sooner were literally pushed off because the world kind of went down into shutdown mode for a while. So just be aware that I feel like this is still strongly coming for you. 95% chance is what I'm getting, but timelines are shifting here.
Yeah, and I know we've talked a lot about this, Michelle, with readings, because I've had lots of amazing readings from Michelle, and they're they're possibilities too, right? Like,
Mhm.
I remember Michelle gave me a reading. My house was for sale, and I desperately needed my house to sell. And Michelle gave me a date of when my house was going to sell. She said, I think it was sometime in December. And lo and behold, come December, we get an offer on the house. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like it happened just like Michelle said it would. And we were so excited. And then the offer fell through. And it was such a opportunity. And Michelle and I talked about this, and I said, you know what? It did happen like you said it would. And people still have choice. They
Mhm.
had a choice. They wanted the house, and for whatever reason, they decided that it would no longer work for them. And so being open to that, because things don't always go the exact way, and it's all a possibility, and we all have choice at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when we're psychically reading a situation like that, what any psychic is doing is reading the most likely outcome, right? Depending on the trajectory that you're on. And so that's really what is happening when we're seeing those timelines. And you're right, there is free will involved.
Yeah. So thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
All right. Our next question. Oh, sorry. I got so wrapped up in that question. I forgot to scroll to the next one. All right. Here we go. Next question. Hi, Michelle. I'm really struggling as my life seems to be falling apart. My husband has been wanting to retire, but now we have two adult children back at home. One is working, but one is not, and nothing we say will make the one even look for a job. My husband keeps delaying retirement because of this, since he's so worried about running out of money, especially with the recent market fluctuations. He has started drinking more than usual, which worries me for his health. I've been praying and praying for months and months to no avail. I'm ready to give up on everything, including myself, as I am so stressed from trying to keep some semblance of peace. I need your help and guidance. What do you see for our future, and what can I do? That's a heavy question, a lot going on.
Yeah, that is a heavy, heavy question. So, first of all, I'm sorry that you're having such a hard time right now. One of the things that I want to say to you is literally start asking your guidance, asking the kids' guardian angels, asking the husband, asking for help from everyone's spirit team involved right here is what I'm trying to say. It's interesting. I'm getting so many downloads for you right now that as I was trying to speak, I almost was getting blotched right there. But start asking all of the teams of guides and angels for help in this situation. Now, the child that's not working has some severe depression or something going on there. So there needs to be, I'm going to use the word almost like an intervention, because I feel like we are just like at a wall. Some of this is stubbornness, but some of this is something else happening. So I want to acknowledge that. Now, with your husband, his energy, yes, trying to keep everything afloat. So I can see that too. And for you, I feel like you are emotionally carrying the baggage and the burden of everyone in the house, which let me just validate as the mom, so common. Or when we're in family situations and our families are having a hard time, it's so common. So I want to validate that for you. You're not doing anything wrong. But what your guides are telling me to tell you is start noticing, is this mine to carry? Because you are carrying things that are not yours to carry right now. And so you need to literally, okay, I'm going to hand this back to my husband. I'm going to hand this over to my child. I'm going to hand this to my other child, or whatever that is that it looks like for you. But what I will tell you, the number one thing you can do in this situation is start regulating your own energy, because what happens is as we regulate our energy within us, there's a vibrational effect that goes out to everyone around us and everyone we're living with. So you need to start, number one, taking care of yourself, whether that is a 15-minute walk or a meditation or an hour or whatever it is that you can do. Because as you start to regulate yourself, the ripple effect will help to regulate everyone else. You've got a few more months of this coming up, or is what the guides are telling me, but this is not the forever story. This is the for now.
Thanks, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that'll be our last question for today. We're running out of time. What are the spiritual causes of sciatica?
Ooh, that's interesting. So, the first thing that your guides just said to me is think about like taking the next step forward. Every time you move that leg, it hurts, right? So, the spiritual energy that I'm feeling around this specific person is about taking the next step forward. And because of that, and I feel like I want to say, does it go, well, you probably don't know. I feel like it goes down the right side. The right side of our body is masculine energy, the left side is feminine energy. So that also matters too. If it's happening on the right side of your body, and it's a sciatica pain, is it taking the next step forward with work, with business, with feeling like the provider, like the masculine things we would identify with? And if it's on the left side, what is it? Is it taking the next step forward with love or romance or worried about the kids? So notice which side of your body that it's on, but it definitely feels like it is taking the next step forward.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it was interesting as you were talking about that. It took me back to when I was in my first marriage and I had chronic sciatic pain on my right side.
Mm.
Um, and it's very speaking to me as to why I was having that pain of not being able to move forward, the male wound, all the things that were going on in that relationship. So I find that very fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, Heather, I love our time together on Mondays. I love these amazing questions that people send in, and I love the way Spirit always shows up to answer them.
Yes, it's so much fun. Thanks, Michelle. And thank you for all your great questions and keep them coming in. You guys have great questions. I love it.
Yeah. Everyone have a great week ahead. Wishing you a lot of love. Bye.